Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video we're going to be drafting a corset, and I'm going to be using the edge of my paper as the starting point, and we'll take our measurements from there. So first things first, I'm going to mark out my shoulder. My shoulder is 15 divided by 2, 7.5 plus half inch, and I mark that at 8 inches there. And then I'm going to mark out the vertical measurements. I'll mark out 8 inches for my chest line, and then 10 inches for my bust point, okay, 13 inches for my under bust, 15 inches for my half length, and I'll add 2 inches allowance to this, okay, so mark 17. So I'm going to go ahead and roll all the points together. So guys, this is what we have. Now I'm going to bring down the 8 inches I have at the shoulder, and I'll mark that down. Okay, so bring down the 8 inches and you're going to connect both points together. Okay, so guys, this is what we have. Now next thing we're going to be doing is to mark out the neck. So for the neck, I'm marking 3 inches by 3 inches, so mark 3 by 3. Okay, so just mark 3 by 3 for the neck. And then we're going to connect it together. So you're going to curve it out. So we're going to go ahead and curve out the neck. So guys, this is what we have. Now for the shoulder slant, you come down by 1 inch on the armhole depth line, and then you're going to slant that to the neck. Okay, you're going to slant that to the neck, just as you see me doing. And then we're going to find the midpoint of the armhole. So find the midpoint of the armhole depth, and then on the chest line, you're going to mark out your bust divided by 4. My bust is 34 divided by 4, which gives me 8.5. And then we're going to go in by half an inch on the midpoint, and we're going to connect the 3 points together. Okay, so guys, go ahead and connect the 3 points together just like this. So guys, this is what we have. I'm going to label the chest line, bust points, under bust, half length, and allowance. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing is to draft out the base of the corset. So on the bust point, we're going to mark out my bust distance divided by 2. So my bust distance is 7. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5 plus half inch allowance, which gave me 4. And then I'm going to mark out that 4 inches all the way to the end. Okay, on the shoulder, I'm going to write my shoulder slant divided by 2. My shoulder slant divided by 2 is 2.5. And we're going to connect all the points together just like this. So guys, this is the base for the corset, and then from here we're going to be drafting out the main corset. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is on the underbust line. Okay, on the underbust line, we're going to be going in by half an inch and out by 1 inch. Okay, so like I said, go in by half an inch and then go out by 1 inch. So we'll do that on the underbust, the half length, and the allowance, just as you see me doing. Go in by half an inch, go out by 1 inch, and we're going to connect it together. So we're going to connect the points together just as you see me doing. So this is what you ought to have. Now we're going to curve this into the bust point. So you're going to curve it in a curve shape into the bust point. Okay, so guys, go ahead and curve it just as you see me doing into the bust point. So you're going to go ahead and curve it just as you see me doing. So guys, next thing we're going to be doing is to mark out the upper dart. So you can start from your chest line, but I want mine to go up a little bit. So I'm going to go up by 1 inch so that the bust will cover up a little bit. And from that 1 inch, we're going to mark out a 0.75 dart on both sides. Okay, so take 0.75 on both sides. Okay, now this dart measurements I'm using is for a person with a smaller bust size. Please, if you have a bigger bust, ensure you use bigger, larger dart intakes. Okay, like 1.5 inches on both sides at the lower part and 1 inch on both sides at the upper part. Okay, depending on the size of your bust. So guys, after connecting it to the bust point, this is what we have. And then next thing we're going to be doing is on the chest line, we're going to come to the midpoint and we're going to mark half an inch. Okay, so you're going to mark out half an inch. This is going to serve as that middle division at the midpoint of corsets. Okay, you know that middle division. Okay, and then we're going to mark a sweetheart neckline to connect it to the to the middle part, just like you see me doing. And then we're going to connect the other parts to the armhole. Okay, so just mark out the sweetheart neckline just as you see me doing. Okay, so guys, this is what we have and it's coming together. So for the side of the corset, okay, you're going to mark your bust distance measurements. My bust distance measurements is 3.5. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. I added half an inch for ease. Okay, and then we're going to connect this together. So mark out a curve to connect it to the armhole. Okay, but my curve was not curving, so I just curved it like this. Okay, ensure your curve takes you all the way to the armhole. Okay, so guys, this is what we have. And for the middle part, I'm going to take curve the 2 points together, just as you see me doing. So you're going to curve the 2 points together. So guys, this is what we have for the cup. As you can see, it came out clearly and nicely. So guys, next thing we're going to be doing is to place the measurements. Okay, so for the bust, my bust, that's 4 divided by 4, which is 8.5. Okay, and then I've marked that out previously, and then I'm going to be replacing the dart intake. I have 1 inch there and I'll be replacing it, and after that I'll place my measurement, my allowance. I'm adding a 2.5 inches allowance to this. Okay, now on the waist, my waist is 28 divided by 4, which is 7. I'll place my dart intake, which is 1.5. I'll replace it. Okay, and after replacing the 1.5 inches dart intake, I'll add the 2.5 inches for allowance. Okay, so guys, this is what we have, and I'm going to connect both points together. So guys, this is it. I'm just going to be labeling out the yoke. Now the yoke is optional to use. You could use the yoke part or not, depending on the type of corset you're trying to make. And then I'm going to be cutting out the parts I marked with a red marker. Okay, so these are the parts we're going to be taking out. Okay, so guys, I'm just going to highlight the sweetheart neckline. I'm going to curve it together. Okay, so that I won't make a mistake when I'm cutting the yoke parts. Okay, so just make a curve to connect it together just like this. Okay, so guys, this is what we have, and as you can see, the cup is visible. So we're going to go ahead and cut, but before cutting, I'm going to connect the body measurements of the corset and write out the allowance. Okay, ensure you add enough allowance to your dresses in case of incasity. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Kindly take note of the parts I cut out. Okay, So guys, I'm going to label the cup 1 and 2. So ensure you do this so that when you're sewing you don't have issues, okay? So for the back, I'm going to mark out my shoulder at 8 inches like I have at the front, and then I'll mark out the vertical measurement. So for the vertical measurement, we'll take the chest line at 8 inches, the half length at 15 inches, and I'll be adding 2 inches allowance to this, okay? This is it, guys. Next thing we're going to do is to rule this out. So rule out the lines just like this. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and bring down the 8 inches we have at the shoulder, and I'll connect both points together to serve as the armhole depth, okay? So this is it. Now for the neck, I'm going to be marking out 3 inches for the width and 2 inches for the depth, okay? I do advise you make it 1 inch, especially if you're using a keyhole neckline for the yoke part, which is optional, okay? So for this, I didn't add a zipper allowance, but you can add a zipper allowance depending on if you want to use a zipper, okay? So connect the neck, and then after that, we're going to mark out the shoulder slant. On the armhole depth line, we're going to come down by 1 inch from the top, and then we're going to slant that into the neck, okay? Just as you see me doing. So guys, after doing this, we'll divide the armhole depth into 2 and mark it out, okay? Go in by half an inch, okay? And then on the lower part, we're going to mark the bust divided by 4, which is 8.5, and connect the 3 dots together, just as you see me doing, okay? So guys, this is what you ought to have. Now after this, we're going to be marking the darts. So for the darts, I'm using a 4 inches dart, okay? So you mark 4 inches at the half length and 4 inches at the chest line, okay? 4 inches at the half length and 4 inches at the chest line, and we'll connect that together with a straight line, okay? So connect it together with a straight line. Next thing we're going to be doing is to take half inch on both sides, and we're going to connect it to the chest line to form our darts, okay? So guys, this is it. Connect it to the chest line to form the darts. So guys, this is what you also have. We're going to go ahead right now and mark 1.5 inches from the midpoint. So this is the intake for the corset. If you're using a loop or hooks or corset hook, whatever, this is the back intake, okay? We're going to connect it together. You can use a zipper. If you're using a zipper, ensure you add a zipper allowance. For this, I did not add zipper allowance, okay? So from there, we're going to go ahead and mark the body measurement. So for the body measurements, on my chest line, I'm placing my bust measurement. My bust is 4 divided by 4 is 0.5. My waist is 28 divided by 4, 7. And I'm going to connect the 2 points together. And then after that, I'll be adding 2.5 inches allowance, just as we have at the front. I'll do that for the bust and the waist. I forgot to add my dart intake at the waist. Please do not forget yours. I won't be sewing this corset. I'm only illustrating it. So when you're doing yours, please add the dart intake. So guys, for the loop part, ensure you take out the 1.5 inches. You can make yours wider depending on how wide you want it to be. If you want to add a keyhole neckline, okay, this is for this is optional. If you want to add a keyhole neckline, you come down by 1.5 inches from your neck, just as you see me doing. Okay, now if you're adding a keyhole neckline, ensure that your back neck is 1 inch high, okay, instead of 2 inches. And then you're going to curve it like this to the starting point of your back intake, okay, just as you see me doing. So you're going to curve it just like this, okay. So guys, this is what you also have. Ensure your back neckline is about 1 inch. The depth is about 1 inch and instead of 2 inches, okay. So guys, this is your yoke, and this is what we have. We have our allowance. Ensure you add enough allowance to your dresses, okay. So guys, this is what we have. We're going to label the chest line, the half length, and the allowance line, okay. So guys, this is it. We're going to go ahead right now and cut it out, okay. So let's cut this out. So guys, ensure you cut it the way I'm cutting mine, and I held it with a masking tape, and this is what you have. If you're using loops, you take out that 2 inches. I didn't take out mine on this pattern paper. On your fabric, ensure you take it out, and if you're adding a zipper, you add a zipper allowance, okay. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Kindly like, share, and subscribe. And if you're cutting, ensure you cut and fold, and I'll see you in my next one. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you try this out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.